Good afternoon, church. Today I want to take the time to deliver a quick sermon to enlighten your mind, because God told me one of you is dealing with a similar situation. God spoke to me and gave me a prophecy, a divine warning. Recently, I was fortunate enough to go to lunch with the most distinguished Reverend Oliver Bowie. And when we were having lunch, there were several people who approached me and approached Reverend Bowie. And prior to a specific woman approaching me, God touched me and gave me a prophecy. God said the devil is going to send a woman who has an overly critical spirit. God said, remain silent. There was a woman who was overly critical of my outfit. My ability of advanced discernment enabled me to make the determination that although this woman was older than me, she was not an expert in Christian theology, nor strong in her faith. That's why she needs to become a member of my church, so I can penetrate her soul and the theology can resonate with her. My luxury suits and jewelry are gifts and blessings from God. In the Bible, in the book of Luke chapter 6, verse 38, it says, give and you will receive. Your gift will return to you in full, pressed down, shaken together to make room for more, running over and poured into your lap. The amount you give will determine the amount you get back. This is what 20 years of praying and tithing looks like. The devil will send enemies and haters your way. In the book of Psalm, chapter 23, verse 5, in the Bible, it says, thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. This verse elaborates on God's promise to provide an abundant blessings for his people. People will try to judge you all the time, but God is the ultimate judge. In the book of James, chapter 4, verse 12, it states, there is only one lawgiver and judge, he who is able to save and to destroy. But who are you to judge your neighbor? Biblical teaching describe an overly critical spirit as a spiritual danger that hinders one's relationship with God and others. The practice of excessive judgment is rooted in pride and hypocrisy and is condemned by Jesus. In contrast to tearing people down, Christians are called to be encourage, build up, and extend to one another with grace. Sometimes you have to let others speak for you. Slap your neighbor and tell them, sometimes you got to let other people speak for you. The Bible details an instance where God instructs someone to let another person speak for them. Speaking for the voiceless. In the book of Proverbs, verse 31, excuse my French, chapter 31, verse 8 through 9, it says, speak up for those who cannot speak for themselves, for the rights of all who are destitute. God gave me a vision that one day my church would get brand new renovations. Because with God, all things are possible to him that believes.